Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to the studio of Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. We hope you have had a fabulous day of fulfillment as you move forward with your good intentions and goals. 10X your business starting today with digital marketing from Just Minding My Business Media, LLC on JMMB Media TV or Mindset Movers TV. Contact us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. Christine Hansen is an award-winning business coach and consultant running a boutique service for online entrepreneurs, creatives, and coaches who want to embrace their inner lazy, profit like a pro, and add philanthropist to their list of credentials without ever undercharging or feeling like they have to be anyone but themselves again. She combines smart strategy and deep soul work so that you can grow and scale a business you love. With 10 plus years as a sought-after TedX France and keynote speaker, Christine is a contributor for Entrepreneur, and her work is featured in Forbes, Business Insider, National Geographic, and more. She loves to share her different approach to business and is 100% committed to helping people achieve success. Welcome, Christine.
Hello.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, beginnings. How did you get on this road?
I keep it as short and snappy as I possibly can, but I think from experience, you probably know it's never too short. But so I don't stem from an entrepreneurial family at all. I started my journey in academics, very much what was very typical, traditional in my family. And then I was teaching for 10 years English literature and language. And then I became pregnant with my little one, and it was a wonderful time. And during my first year of going back to work, so I wanted to go back. My then husband was staying home, and he worked part-time, and I decided, no, I want to go back full-time. I'm not your stereotypical mom. I'm like, no. But while I was pregnant, one of the things was, because I'm not a baby person, really, I was really freaking out about a baby not sleeping. So I looked at solutions of what you can do from the beginning. And then she did sleep really well. And then Facebook ads did its magic. It really works because it showed me from that program that they were training sleep consultants. And it's something that in Europe at that time really didn't exist, a baby sleep consultant, like someone you could hire to help you with your baby sleeping. And I thought, that is genius. And I clicked through and was totally convinced. And they had like this interview process. And now I have to laugh. It's really marketing 101, but I was not in that world at all. So I was really like completely in awe when I was selected to become a consultant. Now I'm like, they just wanted to vet me whether I have the budget or not. But I got selected, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe I have to tell my husband that I want to do something completely different. And so I told him, I've taken this step, but obviously, this is both of our futures because I'm not an entrepreneur. I haven't done this. And he was really understanding. He was like, you've not been happy in your job for the last years. So if you asked me to stay home with our baby, I would never have said anything. So you try this. We have savings. It's fine. Like, we'll be fine. So I did that for a year, and it really turns out I really don't like babies. Like, I like my own baby, but baby sleep consultant did that. No. So I became a sleep consultant for adults. That was much more up my alley. So I did diploma, certification, and my company Sleep Like a Boss did really, really well. But then I realized I really prefer building the business than necessarily the whole sleep aspect and working with sleep clients, although they were all lovely. And so I franchised it out, sort of. So now I have a team that does client work, and I'm the CEO, so responsible for the vision, marketing, anything like that, that still comes in. And actually at the end of now 2021, I'm going to hand it over completely to a team member of mine, because I really realized I love building businesses in a really beautiful, authentic way. No pressure, no FOMO, no weird flashy marketing tactics, like really going with what works, but in a very aligned, ethical and just honest way. And so Christine Wins Business was founded at the beginning of this year, and that's what I love doing. And I just love supporting businesses, showing people what they can do, helping them with, the whole mindset thing. Undercharging is a really big topic, yes, but not in a shaming way. Like, I'm really trying to be very understanding because we've all been there, right? So, and I love it. I really, really love it.
Yes. And as a business, we need it because, yes, especially, solopreneurs, it's like new business owners, it's so many hats to wear. So many hats, because you can't afford all this help. You know what I'm saying? And the emotional part of it is huge. The mindset, all of that, because in business, it's a lot of upfront work and no money at first.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop, right? Like, even when you start growing and scaling, there's a whole new aspect coming in. Yes. And, I love working with people like that too. Not necessarily working, maybe guiding, right questions. Like, when it comes to, I had a $2 million year, but I actually only took home 100K because after the ad spend, after outsourcing, maybe investing in the wrong people because everything has to go quicker, I actually realized, we have this revenue, but what was actually left? And instead of maybe beating yourself up, then having someone saying, no, let's look at this. What have we learned? And well done. And let's celebrate. And I don't think that ever stops, that kind of.
I know. Yeah. It's like one level to another level to another level.
Yes.
And the challenges that come along with that.
Exactly.
So if a client wants to work with you, what is the process?
It depends at the level, so there's some people who are at the very beginning. With them, I do one-on-one coaching still. And I do always want to keep offering that, no matter at which level I am. I love my one-on-one coaching. So that is a process where they first get to know me, where they need to like me, really important, and then get me. And then we usually have a chat. And what I do is I really go through all the 5 foundations that I found are the branding part. And I have to be really honest, I don't do the typical, my perfect client is a woman in her 30s who drives XYZ car and who, goes 3 times to the gym. It's like, that's bullshit. Like, I don't do that. We really go in more of a value kind of avatar, because it's just wrong. Otherwise, you assume and you build a whole business on assumption. And I can say I'm a mom, you guys probably moms too or not, but it's like, it doesn't mean that I'm the same as any other mom. Like, that's just a crappy avatar. So we do the branding, really making sure that it's actually who you want to work with. And then we go into, if they needed the tech, especially beginners, I know that it's really overwhelming. And it's, as you said, we learn our academics, we learn our expertise. Doesn't mean that we're a tech whiz, doesn't mean that we're an accounting whiz or a marketing, it's just like new things. So I go through the tech with them, walk them through it. Actually, if they need my help, we go to the finances, create offers and packages, do a lot of mindset when that happens, a lot of imposter syndrome healing. Am I good enough? Who am I to charge? All of that. And then we do content distribution and content creation, really important to have Google suggest you to everyone. And then finally, the last foundation pillar is global outreach, things like this, going on podcasts, collaborations, guest posting, all of these things, which I call the impact with integrity method, which are the 5 pillars, when you do these while your business is so well-rounded, and all the while it's set up for scaling. So at every step, I'm saying, look, this is something you could outsource as quickly as possible. This is something that you can outsource. This is your brain. That's something you have to do, So that's for my more beginner clients. And then for the other level that I've discussed before, I organize travel experiences for entrepreneurs. So what we do is we travel the world. Next year, so in 2022, the 2 travel experiences that are already planned are Namibia and Bali, good old classic, but also something different. And that's for clients who are either already doing 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, or who have that mindset, who are not afraid of getting there, who already live it, who can already see who they are once that number hits. And that's a different discussion. We won't talk about WordPress or opt-ins. That's more about what I talked about before. How can I be more gentle with myself? How do I still manage running a business that I actually love versus a business monster machine that might be profitable, but I actually don't like it anymore? Or just a different level of discussion. And doing that in a environment where everything is new, where every day is a new experience, it's so powerful, because you have peers who get you. You don't need to apologize, because everyone knows what you're talking about and is not judging, which is very difficult to do with people who are not entrepreneurs. And then on top of that, when you travel, you're in a very different space. You are much more open. You are a little bit more vulnerable, but also more surprised about things. It's just more humble, because you really realize, specifically, I find when you go where culture is so different, like Africa or Asia or anywhere, where you're not necessarily used to be, it's, oh, the world is actually a huge place, like I don't actually know everything. That humbles you in a very, very positive way, I feel. And it's always releasing a lot of gratitude, especially when you see beautiful things that you would never have at home. So that's the second way. So it's kind of a sweet, it's kind of a, how should I say, like a hierarchy or like steps of getting to the ultimate program, obviously. But it's important to me to cater for both.
Very nice.
Yes, that is beautiful. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to work with you?
The easiest way is always through my website, christinemeansbusiness.com. Christine Means Business. I like that.
That's a nice ring. Wow. This is awesome, the things that you're doing. And you're right. You have a totally different approach.
Absolutely.
Than most people that we talk to. And it's refreshing, because it's really thinking outside the box. And I really like that aspect of what you do and how you deliver it. So if I'm trying to, you said so much, I'm just trying to.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm like,
it's so good. Now tell us a little bit about the trip that you had, a little bit more. How do people get involved with the trip that you're planning?
So there's no official sales page for this, because it's really its own organic thing. So it's very important to me to curate the right people at the right time, meeting the right people in the right place. So it's really designed to be an organically grown community for even people who want to return over and over again. So you will know after a while, this is the tribe, the travel tribe in a way. And it's either by referral most of the time, or people can get in touch with me and said, hey, I heard this, I really want to be a part. And then I'll just have a talk and just gauge, okay, would this be a person that would actually fit into this community? And then it's really, because it's going to be somewhere else every time, the next destination I clandestinely have on my radar is Japan. I really want to go and see Japan. People can join multiple times. And it's really meant to be, to know, look, I think at least every person who runs a big online business teaches you have to take care of yourself. But do they do it? So this is really meant to be this beautiful hybrid. Like, it's a 5-star trip, and it's meant to be also taking care of yourself. And that's what it's really meant to be. It's like, look, we also have spa days. This is not about rushing from monument to monument. It's not about being in a conference room all day long. It's really about enjoying this beautiful new culture, getting pampered, going to those really famous restaurants and just enjoy that. Well, yes, you develop, but it's not a strictly like, this is what we'll do today, this is what we'll do then. There will be themes, yes, but the best conversation happen. Well, first of all, the best friendships I find happen when you travel, and the best conversation happen in the weirdest places, which could be the taxi ride between the hotel and the next stop. That's when you have those magical conversations where you have this huge aha moment, or someone has such a different perspective based on their experience, where you're like, I never even thought of that. And, that's why I don't want it to be too commercialized. It's really this little beautiful diamond that I am really taking care of curating very well. So I'm really open for anyone who's interested, but it's important that they match the vibe, which now sounds really esoterical, but if you're nothing, so you get it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does make sense, because, even in the business that we do, the vibrations are critical, because you got to be able to flow with one another.
Yes.
You've got to be able to connect, even though you may be totally opposite, but the connection is there.
Exactly.
And in doing what we do, we have some guests that we really wasn't connected that way, but then we get the beautiful ones like yourself that right off the bat it's a connection, and it just makes everything flow so much better.
I agree. And one thing I just wanted to add is that it's not just for online business owners, like it's for online and offline, brick and mortar, because we sometimes live in our bubbles. And we have so much to learn from each other. Usually I find there's so many online retreats and online masterminds, and it's all online people, which is great because there is a certain, you do things a little bit differently, but you also close yourself off from so many wisdoms that brick and mortar can bring in, and vice versa. So, and you're still an entrepreneur with the same dreams, with the same goals, with the same crazy vein that is driving you, because honestly there needs to be a little bit of crazy in you if you become an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So that's really why it is designed for both. And I just think it's magical. Like, it's this beautiful alchemy thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it sounds it. I just want to go back for one little thing, and I believe you said imposter syndrome, because
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that blocks so many. Could you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So imposter syndrome is when we feel we're not good enough. And it happens to all of us. Like, Oprah has still imposter syndrome even. Brené Brown talks about it a lot. And those are all, I think she even has like a book where lots of women talk about it. Like, it's I don't want to say it's more women than men, but but it probably is. It probably is.
Yeah.
And it can come in all shapes and sizes. It can come, the usual sentence that comes up is, I'm not good enough. It could also be, am I worthy of this? It could just question me, who am I to charge this or to teach anyone? And it's, do I have enough diplomas? I see it especially if you've been brought up that the typical academics is everything that counts. And we pretty much, all of us are, we all brought up with specifically doctors. Oh, they have the longest academic run, hence that is the most worth, versus you have a gift, you have a talent, and it's easy for you. That is valid. That is worth something. And we're not used to it. We're used to, it has to be painful. It has to take a long time. We need to suffer. And only then is it worth something? Which is why we are very often proud of things that are very difficult for us. Whereas when we achieve something easily, that might also be a success, we completely discredit it. And so imposter syndrome comes in all different shapes and sizes, but usually it is, I didn't do well in this, or I'm not good enough, or can I accept XYZ award when it was not just me doing this, or all of these different ways of our inner critic coming up and whispering these voices, these words in our ear. It's really inner sabotage. And the way to get out of that is it takes a lot of work. First of all, it comes about analyzing, is that thought yours or is it someone else's? Whose might it be? Do you agree with it or not, actually? So there's a lot of different ways that you can go about it. I love journaling. I really always suggest, whoever is in entrepreneurship knows that at some point you have to face personal development. So whether it's with a therapist or with a coach, it doesn't matter. But at some point you realize I cannot grow if I don't address these issues, because whenever I'm about to, I do something to sabotage and stop it because I get so scared. And it's valid. Every single one of us has imposter syndrome on a regular basis. I was just triggered massively because I read a sales page of another coach and there were all these testimonials. And I was like, okay, I suck. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go. And I really had to pull myself out of it, snap out of it. And sometimes you need to then vent to someone who then reminds you of how well you're actually doing. It's very difficult to do it on your own. Yes. And I'm really glad because it's being talked about more and more so that people know that there's not a reason to be ashamed. It's just very normal. And shame itself is something that's being addressed. And so there's just a lot of work to be done. But it's, there's nobody who doesn't have imposter syndrome. Nobody. So it's just being aware of how it shows up for you. And it can show up not just in self-talk, it can also be you procrastinating. Whenever you feel it's going wrong, you're just procrastinating. You just stop doing it. It could be never finishing a project. Just before you finish it, you're like, no. Oh, it's not working. I'm going to do something else. You know, those are very typical patterns that happen because of that imposter syndrome coming in, and it keeps you from evolving.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a great thing to talk about, because like you said, we all go through it, because we start to look at other people and they might be out there doing this and doing that, and then we start to do a comparison. Well, I'm not doing all of that, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody is at a different level in their business, in their life, the whole shaboodles. You know, our dynamics are different. So what somebody else is doing is not what you necessarily should be doing at that moment.
Yeah, it's none of our business, really. It's like, you should just be minding our own business.
Yes, we should. And focusing on our business, because when that happens, all of your energy is like into what you're doing and not what somebody else is doing.
Yeah. And I think that's also really important when you're a coach. You might have had your own ways of doing something, but always remind your clients to check in with themselves. Is this would be my advice, or is something you could do, but is it actually what you like doing, you know? And I feel that is sometimes not done enough, but it's important because everyone has their zone of genius, you know? So having different options, making sure your clients check in with themselves to stay true to themselves, aligned, and also being courageous enough sometimes to do things differently or more slowly or more quickly, depending, you know, is really, really important. And I'm really happy because I'm starting to see more people being vocal about this. And I found a couple of people that I love to follow in social media who are very much stepping away from the quick hustle, from the typical blueprints, and are just, you know, I've been doing my thing for 12 years and it works really well. I'm happy to share it with you, and you might like it, you might not, you know. And that is a very refreshing way of doing business, I find. It's just, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, how can people get in touch with you? I love you already. I love
The easiest way is to go to christinemeansbusiness.com and then just send me an email through there. You can also reach me through christine@christinemeansbusiness.com. That's my personal email. That doesn't go to my assistant. It's actually just my own inbox. So feel free to send me an email there. And then I'm on all social media platforms. Unfortunately, I wasn't wise enough to use all the same handles on all different platforms, but the one that I hang out the most and spend way too much time on is Instagram. And my handle there is by Christine_Hansen. So feel free to stalk me out there.
Yes, we will definitely be following you, because I like the outside of the box experience.
Yeah, me too.
I really do, because we're not cookie cutters. Everybody is so unique in their approach, in their thoughts, and that's what makes it beautiful.
Agreed.
That's
there's just no competition. It's there's nobody like you. There's nobody really thinks about you. And so I really prefer, and also doing projects, even with people who do exactly the same as I do. And it's not about competition, it's about collaboration and success for our tribe. And I love to think about it in MLM, everyone has the same product, even the same marketing tools, but everyone is different. Some people attract other people because it's personal. So don't worry about competition. If they don't jive with you, that's fine. You probably don't jive with them either. But then you can maybe introduce them to someone who does the same thing as you do, but they just get each other better. And that's fine. I mean, that's just, and I hope that more people will start to get into that mindset, because it's very relaxing.
It's good. And you learn so much.
Yes.
When you collaborate, you really do. And I love it. I get all hyped up, and that time is not an essence.
Yes.
Because I like that back and forth. It's just invigorating. It keeps me flowing. So I definitely know what you mean. Ruth, you want to add anything?
No, I just really enjoyed this conversation. It's lovely meeting you. And I love the program that you have put together, and the fact that you see the two different levels. People have to come in and get their foundation, and then they can move on. And that second program sounds absolutely awesome. Oh my goodness. I love meeting different people. I love different cultures. And I agree with you. It's not about going from monument to monument. You can see those on the way by or in a postcard, okay?
Yes.
To actually get to know the people, to talk to them. Even if you don't speak their language, it's amazing what you can relay. If there's a desire to communicate, you can break through that barrier of language. Even if it was sign language and making squiggles on a paper, you can do that. And that can be so rewarding. And you may end up with a friend in a foreign language. And I just love the idea of that. That is just awesome. And I hope everybody really heard that, because it gives people something to attain to. That imposter syndrome is so, like you said, everybody has one. And we don't think that we can ever have, do, or be what we want. So to break through that and give people a vision of what's possible, it's not all about having a Rolls Royce, that's not it. It's not about the bling. There's more. And that's really what you're looking for, those experiences that enrich the spirit.
Yes.
So that's really what you're looking for. So I just love your program, and thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you. I'm honored that you trust me with your audience. I know that's not a small thing to do. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you will be back, because we definitely connect, even in the emails back and forth. We connected.
True.
Okay.
So we are so happy that you graced our audience today, and we're definitely looking forward to having you back. So thank you so much, Christine, for all that you do.
Thank you.
Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV. Through Just Minding My Business, dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmb.assistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks, for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.